Okay, beautiful timing there from Rednecks with Cotton Eye Joe. Hope you all enjoyed that song. A little bit of fun. I saw some of you talking about grade 7 disco and things like that. Same for me as well. I remember those days, all those years back. We are into game number 7 here in this clan war between QED and mGG, as you can see in that in the little score thingy over there. The current score is sitting at mGG up at 4 points, QED at 2, so they are going to need to win here if they want to continue on. Otherwise, this very, very stalwart Protoss player for mGG, it may be able to take the win. We'll see if she's able to do it. Starting at the top right-hand side of Cloud Kingdom is our red Protoss player, mGG Nemesis. And her opponent, the player down in the bottom left-hand side. Apparently, this is for you, Burks. In the blue, it is Joy. Also an emotion. Not sure if you guys are, you know, up on that, but also an emotion. Alright, so it's another PvZ on Cloud Kingdom. We'll have to see how Nemesis decides to play this one out. Of course, in the previous couple of games, she's had to fend off a 4-gate from Stod, and then, of course, we had the very, very interesting PvP just then. The very interesting PvP that went the distance, of course. That was just a really, really good one that went all the way. Unfortunately, for our players, we were not able to see the cool, crazy vortex, but it was a good vortex nonetheless. But unfortunately, was not able to win the battle. As we can see, and then just having a quick peek around, wants to scan out exactly what's going on. We'll be able to see that the pool goes down pretty quickly here. Just, of course, that very safe style that we've seen from some of these QED Zerg players. Well, that's not exactly it, Fridge Master. Close, but not exactly it. Good attempt, I liked it. So Nemesis is going for a little bit of a I think Nem just a little bit worried about possible cheese coming out from Joy there. Puts down the gateway actually not too long after the Forge had started. So being very safe, of course, you know, being safe is a very good thing to do. But perhaps a little bit of a sacrifice there. We've gone Forge, Gate, Cannon, and then Nexus. And that spawning pool was not early at all. That was just that sort of, I think that if anything, it was a 14 pool, but that was about it. So nothing too much to worry about here for Nemesis. So perhaps sacrificing a little bit of economy to make sure that she is all safe and sound. But as we can see, there is nothing really too much to worry about. So the gateway does complete. The Nexus will go down in just a second. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the map for Joy, no, Alfred, I don't think that was early. I think that was pretty. It was either a 13 or a 14, but it wasn't crazy. Like either way, I don't think a gate before Nexus was needed. Either way, Nem's still very safe. Expansion is about to go up. A couple of Lings about to pop out. Joy with the hatchery just about to finish up as well. Got a Queen about to pop out. There she is, and a second Queen is also on the way. So we will have just standard sorts of openings here from both of these plans. Hey, if whoever wins, like if we get to game 9 and whoever wins, I'll play Cotton Eye Joe again, or did you want some other kind of grade 7 song to play? Anyway, let me know in the chat if you want some crazy sort of song to play at the end when someone wins. But as we can see, Nemesis got the double simulators inside the main, all very standard here, just sort of still waiting for that cybernetics core to finish up. And as we can see, once that's done, that's when we can start thinking about what kind of tech Nem wants to go for. Of course, you want to keep an eye on the Forge, you want to see what units come out of the Gateway, and then of course whether something like a Stargate goes up and how quickly it goes up. All these kinds of things are things that we as the casters and the viewers want to keep an eye on, not to mention things that Joy wants to keep an eye on. So we'll probably see an Overlord sacrifice in around about the next minute or two, sort of around about the 6:30, anywhere up to sort of the 8-minute mark is that time where this little fella here is probably just going to cruise across the base, try and get a little bit of vision on what's going on, sort of just head in this sort of direction. That's a sort of standard path that most Zerg players will take. But we'll have to keep an eye whether Nem puts something up in this corner. But Robo is down. Where is there? Ooh, well, that's an interesting probe count. She's currently sitting on 25 probes. Of course, a slight ripple effect of having that Nexus quite a lot later than perhaps it maybe needed to be. But Nemesis just a little bit behind in the worker count, always to be expected at this point. But Joy has gases 1 and 2 already done, mining away at that gas. We have to keep an eye on the tech that Joy goes for. 1 Evo chamber is already down. Roach Warren is also being built now as well. 8 drones just about to pop out and get some more lings along with that as well. So Nem, it's kind of hard to say. She hasn't actually really built anything from that Robo just yet, so it's kind of hard to know exactly what the plan is. Of course, you know, if we see that Immortal first, then it's definitely going to be some sort of Immortal Sentry-based build, but no, Observer first, and probably just going to be a reactionary style. That said, you know, of course we had Ji Yun before, who went for the Observer first, then still went for the Immortal Sentry. Sort of threw me out quite a bit. But you know, we'll see what happens with all of that. So Joy, very safe, got still more lings also. Lots of lings being built at this point. Very interesting to see all of that. But gases number 3 is done. 4 is also on the way. Ling speed is also being constructed right now. There is that Overlord going on that path through the center. Does see a couple of gates being built inside the main. We'll also see the Robo, and that well, he'll be wanting to check and see if any Robo units have come out. Is that how many Immortals are down here? How many units are being built to sort of, you know, come at me with a large destructive force? But unfortunately, he's not going to be able to see too much with the Stalkers warping in, going to take care of that. That in itself is a little bit of a signal, you know. Perhaps Nemesis is going for the push. I mean, why would you build 2 Stalkers? Normally, if you want to go for an expansion up to the 3rd, you want to get a build. You're really going to want to build more sentries. So, at the moment, Nemesis just being very sort of cautious. I don't want to say she's being extremely safe, but just being cautious right now with the actual construction that's going on. But +1 to weapons just about to finish up. Twilight Council is also being built right now, and there are all those lings. Very interesting. All of those lings out for Joy. A little bit of you know, a problem now, especially with the fact that they killed one of the last remaining pylons. So Nemesis now a little bit supply blocked. She's going to have to get a couple of pylons up. I can see 2 are just building now. There is an Immortal also on the way. So we're still, you know, both of these players haven't really sort of revealed exactly what they're going for. If Nemesis wanted a Blink style play with weapons, +2 weapons or something like that, like a Stalker-based Blink play, then firstly we would have seen a lot of Stalkers by now, and secondly, weapons would have been built, obviously, but also Blink should have been at least halfway or even finished by now. So sort of just still waiting to see what the plan is from both of these players. Meanwhile, for Joy on his side of the map, Macro Hatch is just on the way. 16 roaches are just being built right now. In fact, it will be 19 in total. So he's going to have quite a lot of defensive and offensive capabilities here. Looks as if he is going to try and just max out as quickly as possible, up to 125 supply. Nemesis still currently sitting on 75 right now, so she's a little bit behind in that. But, of course, the Chronoboost, there's something, wow, lots of Chronoboost left here for them. Really needs to throw that out there to make sure that, you know, there is no way to sort of take advantage of a Protoss who's still a little bit behind. But Joy now looking to possibly get some hits done. Link's trying to come up here into the choke point, but that has been nicely fortified. A couple of gates, a couple of cannons put up here by Nemesis. And as you can see, Pylon trying to go up at the 3rd. I don't think Nem wants to actually expand here. No, 2nd Robo. I mean, you know, there is a build from way long ago that I saw on Team Liquid that actually was this sort of weird sort of 2 base 1-1 base build where you go for double Robo and you get like double Colossus out really quickly. But the issue is that Nemesis is in a little bit of trouble here. Roaches and Lynx cashing out most of these units. Those force fields going down extremely slowly. Unfortunately, a lot of the Roaches have actually been already pushed through the force fields, and so many of these units are going down. Nemesis is going to be in a bit of trouble. Lots of Lynx being built, lots of Roaches. Roach speed still has not even been anywhere near completed, but there are just so many of them right now. We've got a grand total of 36 Roaches that are here for Joy, and Joy is looking to take the win here. Of course, trying to keep QED in this fight. So many Roaches doing all sorts of damage here. Perhaps even sniping out some of these pylons would be good, but you know what? You can just sort of target down the units and get the same sort of effect going. So Joy is sitting in a very commanding position right now. Nemesis' standing army has been taken down to 7 Stalkers and 1 Immortal. Meanwhile, Joy now taking the 4th base just across to the right of the 3rd. Of course, the drone count looking good, up to 65 right now. 47 pros for Nemesis, just still a little bit behind on that position where you'd want to be right now. So with no real harassment done and no real high tech available to Nemesis right now, she's sitting in a very precarious position. It looks like the Roach is going to try and have their way. Of course, Joy, if Joy's not careful, Joy can really get cut up by some force fields and then hacked apart by Stalkers and the Immortals, I should say. But you know, it would take quite a lot to actually get that kind of victory going there for Nemesis. And as you can see, when you're warping in Zealots like that, that can be a little bit of a sign that you're in a bit of trouble here. But the Roaches is coming in, picking off a couple of these units. The Zealots now going down. Not going to have a good day at all. 14 drones just popped out for Joy over at the 4th base, throwing down some spine coolers for protection. And also, of course, now we have the dreaded Infestor. We've got Infestors totaling 5 on the way. 9 more Roaches. Aspire is just about to be completed as well for Joy. So Joy doing all of those wonderful things that every Zerg player wants to be doing right now, powering their way up to 70 drones and harassing the Protoss player, not letting them get to a 3rd base, because of course if that were to happen then things could turn around a little bit. But I mean, Nemesis has been in a very, very troublesome spot right now. So the Immortals are still continuing to come out of these Robo bays that are right here, and a couple. What? Oh, okay. So we've got a cannon up here, perhaps trying to get a proxy base set up. Very sneaky ninja stuff here from Nemesis. But I mean, you know, the question is, will you be able to defend against this kind of attack coming in? These Roaches have +2 on their armor. Of course, the Lynx have got the same thing. We've now got 7 Corruptors also being built. The Infestors have arrived at the battle, and it looks like Joy is just preparing, just sort of saying, you know what? Try and take that 3rd base. Try and get across and do something about that. It's just not going to happen. There are still only 4 Immortals now. I kind of want to see more by now if you're going to go for double Robos. But either way, Nemesis doing her best. Looks like some DTs. Sorry I missed that, but some DTs came across to the 3rd base. Did a little bit of damage. Got some work the kills there. Up to a total of 11 kills by Nemesis there. But the DTs will be cleaned up. And that will be the sort of the end of that harassment for the time being. Looks like Joy just preparing for a possible assault on the 3rd base. Some Corruptors, a little bit mispositioned there. I don't know what these guys were doing, but still waiting for the hive to pop up. And of course, once that's done, which will be in the next couple of seconds, we will probably see the Great Aspire Morphine for Joy, which of course